people today. For those of you that don't know, the entire premise behind Lift the Rock is that we want to connect the entrepreneurial community with the existing business community. And one of the best ways to do that, aside from these presentations, is to specifically commit to making connections. Each of us has a personal network, and we know people that need to meet other people. So today, Ceci is specifically looking to make connections with owners, or at least owners or decision makers for fast casual restaurants, and of which I know that we have a lot of those in the Central Arkansas area and beyond. If you happen to have connections to a fast casual restaurant owner that's about ready to scale and put things into franchise mode, Ceci would really like to talk to them, as well as banks, connections with banks that have a what's the word? Point of service, point of sale. I don't know what he's saying. I can't hear him over the AC.
Service.
Merchant services. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Maybe I've had too much caffeine this morning. Anyway, so merchant services. Ceci's going to talk to you guys all about that. Be sure that you start thinking about who you know that Ceci needs to meet. And this is the social information. Be sure to take photos, put it out on social media. You can feel free to thank our sponsors. And right now I'm going to hand it off to Ceci. And as he walks up here, we're going to get really excited and put that energy back in the room, right? So let's welcome Ceci to the stage.
Morning, everyone. My name is Ceci Bonzi, and I'm the founder of Bleu. Payments are broken because merchants are operating blind. Every card swipe is a wasted opportunity for the merchant to learn something about a customer that they never had before. Right now, it's just not an opportunity for disruption, but we aim to change the payment experience and create a new platform for mobile transactions. Let's look at the current payment experience. John is your typical millennial. He's going on a weekend run to get diapers, and on his way, he wants to stop and get some coffee. When John approaches the coffee shop, he has to wait in a long line. He finally gets to the counter with the barista. He still has to swipe his card, even though they're using some fancy tablet-based point-of-sale system. Now that John's running late, when he gets to the department store, he goes and grabs the same diapers from the same diaper aisle that he has been for the last 6 months. And when he gets to the counter, he still has to swipe his card on some bulky, out-of-dated, out-of-compliant point-of-sale system. Now, as I mentioned, payments are broken. There were over $5 trillion in card payments made in the U.S. last year, and every single one of those transactions were blind. So, John is not John to the merchant. John is a transaction ID, just a jumbled group of letters and numbers, and the merchants really have no idea who he is, regardless if they're using a fancy point-of-sale tablet or some out-of-date clunky point-of-sale system. Bleu runs on beacon-powered proximity payment. A beacon is a tiny device. When positioned inside a merchant's location, it relays contextual information to all mobile devices when they're in range, both on iOS and Android. Further, Bleu is the only company that actually allows you to pay through the beacon. So let's look at John's day had he been using Bleu. John would have downloaded our application, he would have stored his payment type, he would have been able to browse for his local coffee shop, and then place his order and pay in advance. When he arrived, the merchant, his local coffee shop, would have received his order, it would have updated him in real time as to the status of his order, and when he arrived, the beacon would have notified them that he was there, he could pick up his coffee, and leave all hands-free. Now, using Bleu, merchants get access to in-store analytics and payment data. And when they're able to do that, we're able to unlock intelligent information on shopper preferences, wait times, and a whole host of analytics they can use to design a specific shopping experience around their customers. So now for that department store, They're able to deliver a personalized shopping experience back to John, knowing that he had been there several times before, knowing exactly what items he had purchased. They can send him a direct message the minute he got into the location, and then John can actually use that coupon or that offer at the time of checkout. So now, merchants are able to harness a group of systems working together to organize, analyze, and visualize massive amounts of customer data that before was only available to larger merchants in the past. Not only are we able to process transactions using our new Bluetooth payment method, the Bleu point-of-sale network is a universal payment gateway, meaning we accept all traditional forms of payment, including cash, credit, debit, new forms of payment like EMV or NFC, and then, as I mentioned, future forms of payment over Bluetooth, which could include ACH, Bitcoin, EMV over BLE, and stored value, which, depending on the customer, could actually bring down that cost of the transaction. If you take a look at the market, there's estimated that $37 billion in transactions will happen over mobile this year. And this represents, there's also a 172% increase in transactions over the next 5 years. And so this represents an indication that customers are willing to use their mobile phones to receive offers and discounts and rewards and essentially use it as a mobile wallet. So we are entering what we're calling the proximity commerce wave. And that is the exchange of value over hyperlocal distances using mobile technology. And so Bluetooth is going to be the most disruptive form in this new change or new wave, because the tremendous power it has over long ranges and the amount of data that you can move is superior, and it's far better than any other waveform. And so Bleu has formed a partnership with the largest global card network to actually develop standards over our patented Bluetooth method. And so we're not just a point-of-sale system or a point-of-transaction network. So we're that new software layer for the value exchange. So if you can imagine any scenario right now where a card swipe exists, eventually our technology will replace it. So when you're looking at, just a mobile app, we don't want to be confused with just another mobile application like an Apple Pay or a Samsung Pay or a Google Pay. Out of 187 million smartphones in circulation in the U.S., only 25 million even have the software or the capabilities to conduct one of these Apple Pay or Google Pay or Samsung Pay transactions combined. Out of that 187 million devices, 170 million already have Bluetooth 4.0 or Bluetooth Low Energy enabled on the device right now. So the scale for our technology and for Bluetooth is tremendous. And as I said, we're not just a point-of-sale system, but when you compare us to other point-of-sale systems, the benefits are straightforward. And we're the only out-of-the-box, plug-and-play point-of-sale solution that keeps the merchant future-proof and in compliance. So we're the last upgrade or the last integration that a merchant would ever need to do. And so our business model is that we earn a share of every transaction run over our network, whether it's done over mobile or whether it's done over card. We give merchants access to our full software suite starting at $50 a month per device, and then we sell our software and hardware bundle upfront to the merchant, and we are hardware agnostic, meaning that our software can run on iOS, Android, and any hardware configuration, keeping our merchants future-proof and the actual equipment itself affordable. Now, we see the advantage for financial institutions being able to white label our platform and deliver value to their business customers through technology. And by doing this, they have a highly effective way to bridge that customer relationship gap between them and their small business customers, while also solving this EMV or chip and pin issue. The next Chipotle or the next Taco Bell or the next McDonald's could be a merchant in one of these financial institutions right now with a deposit account. And as a financial institution, you want to be able to provide value as they scale from 1 store to 60 stores to 600. And so our go-to-market strategy is to partner or white label our technology for the financial institutions so that they can provide this to their current customers or future customers. The customer attrition rate for point-of-sale software is very low. Once a merchant commits and buys point-of-sale software, they have it for the lifetime of their business, which is usually 5 to 7 years in the hospitality range. So our long-term value of a customer acquisition is around a 5x multiple, which is the lifetime of the merchant. As I said, my name is Jesse Bonzi. I'm the founder of Bleu. I have about 10 years experience in both mobile technology and mobile infrastructure. My co-founder, Brett Howell, has significant experience in the franchise business. His family ran a small franchise for several years. And all of our advisors are successful entrepreneurs on their own, but especially in the areas of big data, financial services, engineering, and enterprise sales. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are 16 million out-of-compliant point-of-sale systems moving to this chip and pin or moving to this EMV upgrade. And so based on those numbers, just a conservative estimate of less than 5% of this market in the next 5 years, Bleu is looking at a $30 million gross revenue in year 2 and at least 30% year-over-year growth thereafter. In our current progress, we do have a patent on our our Bluetooth transaction method. Our customer application is in the iOS store right now. Our consumer application is both in the Google Play and Apple Store as well. We have 9 clients as of last week, and we do have a partnership with the largest global card network in the world. And so we've currently raised $405,000 from friends and family. We are in the middle of our seed round, and we're going to use these funds in order to execute on several initiatives with this card network, as well as some additional IP protections we have on our method and working capital as well. Thank you.
So, okay, I know that we have a lot of business owners and bankers in the room, and I'm certain somebody has a question. So, as those questions bubble to the surface, you're going to march your little tail up here and talk into this here microphone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, great presentation. Really enjoyed it. Let's go back to your ecosystem. You've got a lot of moving parts in that. Do you ever worry that maybe there's too many moving parts in that entire ecosystem? How do you plan to be good at all of those different aspects of the ecosystem that you had drawn up there?
Well, essentially what we saw was there's an issue between the players in the space right now, right? So someone is either good at a mobile application, someone's good at point of sale, or someone is good at payment, but not all three, right? And so there is the lag in the ability to deliver a actual effective solution to the merchant. So we did the hard thing. We said, we're not just going to create a mobile application. We're not just going to create a point-of-sale software. We're going to create an entire network that's able to collect data and collect information and actually improve the payment experience. So there are several segments to what we're doing, but we set out to do that. That was exactly what we wanted to do, is do the hard things.
It's more so about the data. So are you holding or the owner of the data, or is the merchant the owner of the data?
So we own the data, and we license the data to the merchant. And we're very protective of that sensitive information. We don't track the customer unless they're within the store or within the range of our beacons within a space. And we don't share that information with anybody besides the merchant themselves. And so even if you download the application and you're in our merchant's location, they don't even get information on you like your name or where you were until you actually make a purchase. So these are things that we've thought about when thinking about a consumer and some of the concerns they have around security and data protection. And so we take that as a very important part of what we're doing.
EMV has been a real killer of some of these point-of-sale systems. So how are y'all, do you have a third party that's doing that for you? Who's doing the integration and keeping up with just what's required to continue on accepting cards?
Right. So we saw EMV as a big hassle, right? Especially if you're in a franchise or you have several different locations that require, an upgrade. We didn't want to position ourselves to say that, we're just here to support you for EMV. We want to support you because 3 years from now, the terminals that are able to accept EMV cards, they're going to need another upgrade. So we like to say that we're that middle layer, right? We're the software layer. There will always be hardware companies that are going to be producing these card terminals that will be able to accept, the chip and pin and the new upgrade of the chip and pin, and we're able to integrate with all of those different card readers. So your software and the experience will never change, although the hardware will, which also keeps prices low, right? You're not doing an entire overhaul of the system. We're just going to send you an update like you would get an update on your app on your phone, and then you can use the new card terminal that we send you.
All right, I'm right here, so I'm just going to hand it to you. That's your question? Okay. Anybody else? I think you just wowed.
I hope so.
Right? So, yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, let's give it up for Ceci.
Okay, I'm really super proud of you guys for all of the energy that you're bringing to the room today, because that's awesome. You cheered at the beginning, you clapped great at the end. It's very exciting. Ceci, don't leave, because I'm going to need you again in a second. So, remember my ask at the beginning, right? Do you know anybody that Ceci needs to know? You may note that if you are at a table, you have one of these little red cards in front of you. These cards are there so that you can do two things. One, you can specifically say that I can connect the presenter, in this case Bleu, to a specific individual. Now, I'm not asking for that individual's contact information. I'm just asking for the name. Then we will follow up with you and say, hey, don't forget that you were going to introduce Ceci to Bob, the restaurant owner. All right? And so then we leave it to you guys to make that happen. It's just a commitment that we're asking for to kind of facilitate these connections. So if you've got a card in front of you, please work on filling that out. Ashley will come around and collect them from you, or if you need a little bit more time, she'll grab it from you before you leave today. If you have a business card that you would rather use, by all means, pull out a business card, scrawl your stuff on the back of that, and we'll move forward from there. But for those of you who have been here before, you know about the gong. For those of you who don't, let me give you a small explanation while you're filling out your cards. So one of the things that we do at Lift the Rock is celebrate success. And in our case, that success is specific to traction. If you've had a major sale, you've signed the world's largest retailer, something along those lines, you get to come up, lift the mallet, and bang the gong and announce what you've done. So Brian, can you help me? Can you bring me a gong? Well, not a gong, the gong. The gong. She's loud, y'all, if you haven't heard it before, so. So not just anybody can ring the gong. You actually have to contact us ahead of time. Let us know what it is that you've done that you think is special, and we'll work through that with you and determine if it is, in fact, gong-worthy. And in this case, Ceci has something that is gong-worthy. So not only does he present today, he's going to come up and tell us what he did. I'm just going to hand this to you. Okay.
So we just onboarded a new client here at the corner. So they will be using our point-of-sale system starting the week of July 10th. Nine pilot merchants up and running.
Okay, and
right
what
now.
else do you have a deal with who?
We have a deal with a large global card network,
A large global card network.
the largest.
The largest global card network. That in itself is gong-worthy, but at the corner is just the icing on the cake. So, by all means, sir, lift the mallet.
So,
Ready? Whenever you feel good.
time that somebody's just going to whack the crap out of this thing, and nobody does. It's always very, very calm and timid. Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming. As always, we have what we refer to as Co-work Wednesday immediately following. You're welcome to hang out in any of the space in the kitchen, log on to the screaming fast internet, do a little bit of work, meet some cool people. Don't forget to give Ashley your card with the contacts that you have. Ceci, real quick, remind them who it is you'd like to meet. Right on. So you've got your cards. You've got your ask. I'm going to expect you to get out your pens. Steve has something to say. Yes. Also on the card, if you have somebody that you think would do an awesome presentation for us, we would love to know about them. I'll specifically reach out to them and talk to them about coming and presenting to the group. Since we've been going for the past, this is the fourth one. I don't know, I've lost track. Anyways, it's a new program for us, and it's been going really well, but we'd like to get some additional suggestions for people to present. We'll be back here again next Wednesday with another awesome company. In fact, next week I think we have 2 presenters, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next Wednesday at 9. So thank you so much.